Hello, everyone. Darren Hardy here. I have been asked to offer some perspective about what you might do as a leader, given the corona crisis situation that we are all faced with, and maybe some decisions that you might want to make from a business perspective. Forgive the impromptu-ness of this due to our social distancing here. I don't have my normal film crew. I'm coming to you from my desk in my cabana here on the beach of South Beach on my computer monitor camera here, in fact. And in front of me are people frolicking on the beach in front of me and people playing tennis behind me here. So please forgive a bit of the casualness of this message. But first off, I want to give you a different take on what's going on. I don't want to talk about the health implications of the coronavirus. There are a lot of more qualified people to talk about the health perspective and what you should do. I am not a doctor and I don't even play one on the internet. I want to talk about the business implications of what's taking place right now. And then I don't want to just talk to you as a citizen and your responsibilities. I want to talk to you as a leader and what your responsibilities are as a leader. There's three things I want to cover. Number one is, okay, where is the hope and what should we be focusing on if we want to steward our teams as a good leader during these times of crisis and uncertainty? That's number one. Number two is there are three things in particular that you might want to adjust in the leadership of your business in the marketplace. And then there are three things that you might want to adjust in your leadership of your team. And the third thing is how to keep control of engagement, keep control of the growth of your organization and success during these uncertain times. So those are the three things that I want to cover with you here. First off, I just want to relate. I know that these are unsettling and uncertain times, and that there are a lot of people who are genuinely scared and afraid for good reason. I know that the COVID-19 news has been dominating the airwaves, it's been dominating your social channels, it's been dominating your email, it's been dominating every conversation that you've been having. Even maybe more newsworthy are the reactions, repercussions of that due to what's happening now because of the stock market and countries are in lockdown and millions of kids are out of school. And events all over the world have been canceled, and nobody can find toilet paper and hand sanitizer is 10 times its normal cost. So yes, lots of reasons in which to be fearful. But look, understand fear is normal. It is a normal human response. When we are threatened physically or emotionally, our nervous system generates fear. Now, fear should just inform you to make a new positive decision. That's all it should do, is to get you to take action to make a positive decision. What it shouldn't do is engulf you. You see, that's why FDR said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, because fear can engulf you and paralyze you and keep you from doing anything. And as a result of it, then you end up creating your own reality. So you don't want fear to drive discrimination, poor decisions, or even drive you towards destructive behavior. As a leader, you have the choice. Are you going to either fuel the panic, or are you going to feel the preparedness, the planning and the positioning, because this too shall pass. And it is what you do during this period of time that will define you as a leader. You see, leadership is defined in times of crises, not in good times. This is when the character of the leader is exposed. And so how you step up during these times and how you focus your conversations during these times is going to define your character coming out of these times. And I don't care whether you run a large company or you run a small company, you have a large team, a small team, or you just have a team at home. As a leader of your household, or as a leader in your peer group, or as a leader at church, you are a leader and people are looking to you in how you are responding in the conversations that you're having. Are you continuing to talk about all the things that can't be done now because of what's happening in the current uncertainty, or are you redirecting those conversations to what can be done? Okay, well, because of that, we could do this, or we could do that. So this is the time in which to step up as a leader. There's two facts that I want to cover real quickly here. Now, number one is that we can do this. We've been here before. Yes, it's a different variation of it, but we've been here before and we have survived it before. And ultimately, this too shall pass. Look, we overcame viruses and diseases of the past. Smallpox, which killed 500 million people in its last 100 years of existence. Yellow fever and typhoid and whooping cough and rabies and chickenpox and mumps and measles, all of those. We have more recently the West Nile virus and SARS and swine flu and Zika. We have survived and moved through all of those as well. On an economic front, I mean, just think of the things we survived in the last 30, 40 years. The Black Monday, the 1987 stock market crash, the Y2K bug, and the tech bubble that burst in 2000. anthrax in 2001, where everybody was afraid to open up their mail, and 9/11, which obviously had global economic implications, and 2008, also massive global recession. North Korea, saber rattling in 2013, which also had global implications. All of those things we have moved through. So we've been through this before. Certainly, this is a new flavor and variety. This too shall pass. So with that, disruption equals new opportunity. Newton's third law is for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So whatever is happening, whatever is caused as a result of the current crisis and situation, there is going to be a reaction. I mean, just look at restaurants are down, hotels are down, cruise ships are down, theme parks are down, and so forth. But look at what's happening in the packaged goods. People who make pot pies and pizzas, frozen pot pies and pizzas, businesses are exploding. How about the people who are making toilet paper and hand sanitizer, right? I mean, now that the kids are going to be home from school, the homeschooling business, now that workforce is going to be home. Think about all of the virtual systems that support a distributed workforce, things like Zoom, video conferencing, and things like Asana and all the rest of that. Those businesses are going to flourish. So for every action, there's going to be an opposite reaction. And as a leader, what you want to do is to look for the reaction. Look for, okay, because of this problem, where are the new solutions? You see, new problems for entrepreneurs are fuel. It is the fortune that is created. If you didn't know, 16 of the 30 Dow companies were created during recessions or depression. 16 of 30, that's more than half. These are companies like Procter & Gamble and Disney and Alcoa and McDonald's and General Electric and Johnson & Johnson. Hyatt Company and Sports Illustrated were born in the 1950s recession. Microsoft was born in the recession of the 1970s. CNN and MTV were born in the recession of the 1980s. See, problems are food and oxygen and fuel for entrepreneurialism. So you want to shift your focus from the problems of the current situation to the cause, and then what are the solutions needed now that didn't exist before? What are the new solutions that are needed now? And how can your company help? How can you help? How can you be of a service? How can you serve? Not what can you sell? Not what can you exploit? What can you help? How can you be of value? How can you be a light in darkness? That's where you want the focus of your attention to go. This is what I call a clarion call for leadership. Right now, the world is looking for leaders to move us in a positive direction. Everybody in your industry, in your company, in your community, in your family is experiencing the same thing. They're experiencing uncertainty, fear, worry, and paralysis. So what can you do to step up as a leader? So let's talk about the two different places. In the marketplace, leading your business or your future in the marketplace, and then with your team at the office or your team at home. Let's talk about the marketplace. Number one is asking these questions. What is the new reality? Okay, people are stuck at home. They're afraid. They need guidance. They want hope. You see, people aren't broke. They're just bored. So what can you do to be of help? How can you add value? Those are the questions to ask. Given what's happening right now, what do people need? How can I be of help? What is the action that has happened? And then what is going to be the reaction? And how might I provide the answer to these new problems? Those are the questions to ask. And then adjust yourself for it. Number two is get out in front of the fear. Get out in front of people's emotional responses to what's happening in the world. If you have a restaurant, live stream what you were doing to sanitize your environment, the new rules that you have in the back kitchen, the protocols that you have for your wait staff. Allay people's fears. Here's the thing you can't do with people's fears. You can't ignore them and you can't minimize them. They're real for people. You see, we are emotional beings who sometimes think. We are not thinking beings who have emotional issues. We are emotional beings, and 100% of our decisions and 100% of our behaviors are driven from emotions. So do not discount or ignore what people are feeling. Address them. Allay their fears and concerns. Positively explain what you're doing as a business to address their concerns. If you're a movie theater, you're putting 2 seats between everybody for social distancing. If you're a gym, how are you sanitizing your gym? What protocols are you putting in place? Get in front of everybody's fears. Number 3, you probably don't have to change your business at all. You probably just have to change your messaging. This is so key. Your messaging maybe is all that needs to change. See, if you're used to talking about the positive benefit and the positive solution and the better future that your product or service can provide, now you might need to adjust it to preservation, to protection, to what your product or service does to recover, to help people recover, to help people change, to help people adjust. Address the emotion. Right now, the emotion is fear. It's concern. It's worry. It's anxiety. It's prevention. It's safety. So how does your product or service address the emotion of the moment is the key thing, and adjust your messaging accordingly. There are three things people want from the solutions that they seek and from the leaders that they follow. This is really important. You might want to write this down. Number one, they want certainty. They want to regain confidence. You see, when there are times of great crisis, the leader has to get up on the metal heap with a bullhorn and reestablish people's confidence in the way forward of the future. If the Columbia spaceship blows up in the sky with the first teacher aboard, the leader needs to get on national television and confirm that we will continue. We will survive. We will go forward, and the space program will continue. So you have to reinstill everybody's confidence. Number two, they want clarity. They want to have a sense of regaining control and having a sense of hope that the future will be better. They want to see a positive future, and that is the third, which is simplicity, making things simple so that people see a way forward. They see that positive future. So they want certainty, they want clarity, and they want simplicity. Now let's talk about how you might step up as a leader for your team. Everybody's watching you. Everybody is watching you. Your team is watching you. Your children are watching you. Your community are watching you. And leaders are born in times of crisis. The reason why we know Lincoln, the reason why we know Washington, the reason why we know FDR, and even Reagan through the Cold War is these were leaders who led us through crisis, through difficult times, through times of great fear and difficulty. How about Millard Fillmore? Who, you ask? He was the president of the United States as well. We don't know him because there was no crisis in the United States when he was leader. You see, we only know the great leaders who led us through crisis. This is when great leaders are born. You see, without the great wars, we probably wouldn't know the names Robert E. Lee. We wouldn't know the name Ulysses Grant or George Patton or Douglas MacArthur or Norman Schwarzkopf. It took the war. It took the great crisis in order to have these leaders be known. Now, new leaders are going to be known because of how they lead through this crisis. See, my definition of a hero is it's an ordinary person who is put in an extraordinary situation, who steps up and takes action. Did you hear that? Let me say that again. It's an ordinary person put into an extraordinary situation who steps up and takes action. So you are an ordinary person. I am an ordinary person. We are all now put into an extraordinary situation. It's going to be the one who steps up and takes action are the ones we're going to deem the heroes and the ones that we're going to look to as leaders. So there's a desperate need today in the world for leaders, real leaders who inspire a positive way for us forward, particularly in these trying and difficult times. So it is your job to inspire hope, to be a beacon of light that illuminates the world in this dark void that we find ourselves in temporarily, and to show the path forward to a better future, a better world, a world that right now maybe a lot of people can't even see for themselves until you, the leader, step in and cast the vision and hold the light and illuminate the path forward. So to do that, you want to be the calm center, and you want to focus conversations and energies and behaviors on what you can do, on the positive emotions. We're all going to be emotional, but focus attention, time, and effort on the positive emotions, not fueling the panic emotions. So remember, your team needs the same three things from you. They need certainty. They need to regain confidence. They need clarity. They need authority and direction. They need simplicity. They need to regain control and have a sense of hope and see the positive future. So it is time for you to show that you are the leader. Number two is don't slow down, don't shrink, don't retreat. Instead, redirect, reallocate time, energy, effort, and resources, and adjust. Don't slow. Just reallocate. You want to keep emotion in motion, positively, focusing on the things that you can do. You see, while the external events out there are not in your control, the things that are in control are what you do on the inside, what you do inside yourself, but what you do inside your organization. So what you have complete control of where the time, energy, and effort is being spent inside your organization. So what are the things you can do? Number one is you can work on skill development. You can work on personal growth and development. You can help sharpen everybody's saw. This is the perfect time. If you can't go out, chopping down trees on the outside world, at least spend the time sharpening your axe so that when it does come time again to go outside and start cutting down trees, you have sharp tools. Same thing with your people. Now might be the time to sharpen everybody's saw. When the panic subsides, it will be those teams and those organizations who spent the time to be the most prepared that will thrive. You want to fill the heads of your team with what's positive, because left to their own devices, their minds will flood with negative thoughts and negative emotions. It is just part of the human condition. You have to proactively flood their minds with what's positive, what's possible, and what's hopeful going forward into the future. That's why we need leaders. That's why we're calling you to step up to be the leader. There's never a more important time to strengthen yourself and to strengthen the minds and hearts and will and skills of your team than right now during these times. You don't want to just go through this adversity. You want to grow through this adversity. You might want to write that one down. Don't go through this adversity, grow through this adversity. Spend some time on personal growth and development. Number 3, I ask you to do right by your employees. They're hurting. A lot of them are being forced to stay at home with their children. And a lot of them, as a result of it, are not getting paid. Don't do that. Pay all that you can. Stick it out with them as much as you can. I understand there are cash flows and financial obligations and all the rest of that, but I ask you that you do all you can to help each other through the situation the best that you can. Now, maybe the situation is forcing you to make some tough calls on people you probably should have let go before, but you didn't have the courage to do so. So maybe that forces some of those conversations where you clear the underbrush so that you can have a more vital forest. That's great. Maybe that helps you get the courage to finally do what you should have done long ago. But those people who have been with you, those valuable asset players in a thriving marketplace, do all you can to protect them during these times. And again, it's not like they're just going to be lollygagging. You should just redirect their time, energy, and attention. They should be contributing in ways, preparing and positioning your organization in ways so that when this does pass, and it will pass, you will thrive. So just reinvest time, energy, and effort into your team. You want to staff your team, not for the situation right now, today. You want to staff your team for the potential future. So don't make short-term decisions today that cost you your future by not doubling down on the investment of your team. Lastly thing I've been asked to tell you is, okay, what am I doing? So I'm doing 4 things. Number 1, washing my hands. I'm washing my hands more than I've ever washed my hands in my whole damn life. And I'm washing my hands according to the way that Dr. Oz says a surgeon does it, right? Not just like this, but like this. And he said, get the thumbs and make sure you get the palms. I'm washing my hands, singing happy birthday, doing the whole bit during it, 2 happy birthdays. And so, yeah, I'm washing my hands, all right? Everybody needs to wash their hands. Wash your damn hands. And maybe fist bump a little bit. Stop the handshaking. Number 2, social distancing. I love this social distancing, right? Because I'm an introvert. I've been social distancing my whole life. Now it's like socially acceptable to be socially distancing. So that one's easier for me. Number 3, staying healthy. I also stay healthy all the time, but not just the body. You want to stay healthy of mind, because I'm telling you what, not only how you treat your body is going to affect your immune system and how healthy you are, because it's not a matter of if, it's probably a matter of when you do get the coronavirus, but it will be a matter of the health of your immune system to determine how much it affects you. So it's not going to be just how you are physically. It's going to be how you have been fueling your mind, because your mind has massive influence over your immune system. Fear is what is going to debilitate it. Positive possibility and abundance-mindedness is what's going to strengthen it. And the 4th thing is I am rescheduling where I am contributing. So I was going to be going to a concert, and that got canceled. We were holding a business masterclass in 2 weeks in San Diego, and we had to reschedule that. I was supposed to do a keynote in Vegas. I was supposed to do a boys trip. All these things that were on my calendar all of a sudden got cleared. Now there's awesome open void in my calendar. So there's a big project that I was going to hope to work on at the end of the year. I have just advanced that so I can go head down on it. It's like an amazing, beautiful opportunity to do something that I think will have a big impact on our business and my ability to serve you, in fact. When Hurricane Irma came through Florida, my wife and I and dog had to get in the car and go up to the Panhandle, and we were stuck in a place in Seaside for a whole week. And now I couldn't do anything on the outside. I went head down on a project that I had been meaning to get to, and the result of that project resulted in millions of dollars of revenue for our organization. And it would not have happened if I did not have that void and I did not take that time. Instead of just hanging out and, calling it a forced vacation, I just reallocated the time and energy to something else that I knew would be of great value. And I was right. It was of great value, not just to our organization, but to the people that it served as a result of being able to get that project done. So I encourage you to do the same. Figure out what you can individually, reschedule yourself to contribute. Number 2 is I'm working with our A team on development projects and doing planning and preparing that we never see a chance to get to. So this is an awesome opportunity, a forced sort of like tap of the pedal so that we can go and look at these other things and get ourselves even better equipped for our future and in order to support what we're trying to do from a mission standpoint. And then we're all obviously always focused on personal growth and development. We're looking at all sorts of ways to sharpen the skill and the saw of everybody on our team. So we are not slowing down here on the A team. In fact, we are probably hustling even harder because we want to be of help. We want to answer the call to leadership. We want to find ways to serve and to be part of people's solution. We want a chance to be able to do some things we weren't probably able to do otherwise. And we are seeking opportunities to make a difference, right? Our mission here is to positively influence influencers. So this is the time when we are stepping up to do all that we can. So with that, I remind you, we are here for you. We are in this with you arm in arm in the trenches day over day. So if there's anything else that you need, any other questions that you have, or any other concerns that you have you'd like me to address, or any other ways that we could be of service or of help, we are here for you as you go out and positively influence those that are under your leadership. So we aim to be a resource for you. Okay, so stay safe, wash your hands, and keep a little distance in the meantime. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon.